Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Starfield. By now you should be aware that there is a super special suit and a super special ship, and also a super special helmet, knocking around quite early on in the game. These are all tied to the Lair of the Mantis and the Sentinel Mantis equipment that comes with it. If you've been going through the campaign, you may well have come across this type of tablet, a Secret Outpost on Denebola 1B. And this secret outpost is the Lair of the Mantis, and you really should get yourself over there as soon as you possibly can once you do find this message, normally on the body of a spacer somewhere, and I found mine at an old abandoned mine shaft. Several other Starfield players have found this particular tablet doing the old neighbourhood mission once you travel to the Nova Galactic star yards, for example, that orbit Earth's moon, also known as Luna. Once you dock aboard that star yard, you'll encounter spacers, and having a gunfight with them and then looting the bodies will then give you access to this particular tablet. Once you've got it, however, that does unlock the Lair of the Mantis side quest, and that's what we're going to be dealing with in this video. So once you start off the campaign, you're soon going to come across a little bit of conflict. Once you come across a little bit of conflict, you'll come across the Secret Outpost tablet. That'll be found on one of your victims. Don't forget to loot those bodies. You need to get yourself over to Denebola 1B and instigate the Mantis, or the Lair of the Mantis side mission. You'll get over there, you'll land your ship just outside where the main Lair of the Mantis is located, and then you start to prepare yourself for a bit of a firefight. For the Starfield commander of level 7 and excess, this is not going to be too much of a challenge. The standard grunts you get in regards to the space pirates are not going to be too difficult to handle. The challenge starts to come apparent, however, once you start making yourself inside the Lair of the Mantis, and you start encountering not only adversaries in the form of space pirates who are a little bit more angsty than the ones outside, but also other adversaries like robots, turrets, and other traps. It is worthwhile, however, getting through this and making sure you have a good look of what's around inside the lair. Yes, the prize is going to be the Sentinel Mantis suit, the Sentinel Mantis helmet, and the Razorleaf ship, but on the way you're going to find many other items as well that you can either sell or keep and put back into your inventory. So it's worthwhile having a damn good look around, if you know what I mean. As you make your way through this installation, you'll notice it's quite linear. There's only really one way to go, perhaps two ways on the odd occasion, but it's quite a linear route from how you get from the starting position all the way down into the Lair of the Mantis. However, like I mentioned, there is going to be some resistance along the way, and it's very important, I think, or what I did and employed this strategy, is to use your environment against your adversaries. With this guy, make sure you don't anger him too much or let him go. You want him to come with you, otherwise he's going to start opening fire. He's not too tough and you can certainly see him off. You're then going to come across, by looting the bodies, the sick Semper Tyrannis. This message, as it is, gives you a couple of clues in regards to the final puzzle. The puzzle, however, here is solved right here. It's the word Tyrannis you want to be mindful of, and the spelling of Tyrannis as well. The spelling of the word Tyrannis refers to this puzzle here. Now, it's a room full of letters on the floor, which you have to spell out the word Tyrannis. Notice that double N in the spelling. If you get it wrong, however, turrets are going to come down from the ceiling. They're about level 40 or 50, and they're really going to ruin your day. Once you get through this area of the map, it's a pretty straightforward maneuver. Onto another corridor where there's turrets to shoot in the ceiling. Once you get past those, you're then going to get into the area of the killer robots. Oh yes, indeed. The turrets aren't too difficult to shoot down. If you've got a coachman, you can pretty much get them down with 2 or 3 shots. It's not too terrible. Make sure you've got an awful lot of medical gear, because you are going to incur a bit of damage, and the food, with its pitiful health restoration is not going to do much for you. You need med packs, at least. Make sure your health is as far as you possibly can before advancing past the turret, simply because those robots are going to chew you out. Right, we've taken this turret down. We're going to move on nicely around the corner, and we're going to come up with our first robotic adversary. Now, your NPCs are going to help you out here, and if you're cunning enough, you can use grenades to start to wear them down. You can use your longer range weapons as well to chew them out, but if they get close and they start to touch you, like you say, level 7 commanders, even up to about level 15 commanders, they're really going to chew you out before you know it. The important thing here is perhaps not to die. And you can see there's not much of an opportunity there other than using grenades to use their environment against them. A couple of canisters here, there and everywhere. But your NPC is going to help you out, especially if you've got Sarah with you. Now, once you've chewed out those robots and you've looted their bodies, because they do have materials worthwhile having, especially for the resource material engineering and the upgrades. Once you've got all that, you'll be mindful of coming into the area of the Lair of the Mantis. This is a good point to do a save game. You'll notice, as you will notice all the way through the game, there have been panels on the walls that will give you some insight into the background of the Sentinel Mantis, a bounty hunter who has been well tooled up and well equipped to combat their adversaries. More robots, a robot Model S to take down. This is a particularly nasty one in close quarters as well. Just be sure you don't die or kill anybody else in the process. If you do, it'd be worthwhile knowing that you'll go back to your last save game. So it's worthwhile not to die. As I mentioned, it's worthwhile going to all the panels and learning a little bit of lore, the lore of the Mantis. But once you've read them all, once you've read all the tablets, it's down to the number and the case in hand, which is getting your hands on that Sentinel Mantis suit and getting on with things. This robot I found particularly challenging. I only died twice, I think, getting through it, but I utilised the power of my NPC and more damage wielding weapons as well. Once through this part of the game, you're away. And in some cases the pistols will render enough damage, but I found the good old shotgun or the drummer perhaps to be the best option for dealing with them. This, however, now is getting into the Lair of the Mantis and the control room antechamber before you get down and dirty into the place where you need to be. Lots of items here to pick up. Lots of rubbish as well. The NPC character that you found, the traitor, so to speak, he'll start running off into the area towards the Mantis, thinking he can stitch you up and get all the items for himself. He'll be dealt with what's in the next room, which take the position of several robots of different cases. These are quite tough to get through. Your NPC may well take quite a bit of damage. Mine did, and was left on her knees. I, however, took a more stealthy approach, used cover, used my ranged weapons as well. That did quite a bit of damage, but a slow shot speed. Getting into the Lair of the Mantis was a bit like a bat cave, it has to be said. Very bat cave-like. You're given the options. Claim the starship, claim the spacesuit. Well, that's easier said than done at this stage, and you can see all the way down here, next to those explosive barrels, we've got different robots around here, different sentinels that are going to stop you getting that Mantis spacesuit. As soon as you start to open fire, it's game on, and you have to do your best to try and use the environment against them, like with the explosive barrels, etc. So I'm using a long-range Earth sniper rifle. It works for me, and it worked for me quite consistently. A slow but steady shot speed enabled me to get rid of some of these robots as well. Going for some areas where I was sure to get some critical damage. Keeping an eye on my health as well, and making sure I've got a med pack against my hotkey. Keeping that steady line of fire down. They're using energy weapons as well. That's really chewing me out in regards to my health, and a good use of cover is also going to allow you to try and take out these sort of adversaries. The important thing is not to die. But then again, you have to go back to your last save game, and being a good save gamer before going into any sort of dodgy area is what these Bethesda games are all about. So, if we look over to where our NPC is, she is down, she is on her knees, she is going to be no good to us. That leaves us with this Model S to take out. Get those grenades over. Let's see if we can get a little bit of damage on the cards before we start engaging him with the cannons. But from a range, and with minimal shake and twitch for the gun, and a good use of a med pack, it's not long before we get this guy done. Just be wary that you're going to need to use all the things that you've picked up just to give yourself a little bit of an edge when fighting these robots. They are quite tough by yourself, and they are quite tough when you're at a lower level, like I am, which is currently about level 11. People have done this at lower levels, however, and reaped the benefit of having the Sentinel Mantis suit and helmet. Right, so there he is. We're going to loosen him up with a bit of a grenade. There it is, bit of a boom on the go. Let's get into the area. Let's chew him out. Get some explosions on the go. Doesn't know what he's doing, and he is down, leaving us to explore the Batcave, or the Lair of the Mantis, for all the cool items that are knocking around. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, it's not all about just the Razorleaf ship. It's also about all the other items you can pick in. Bounty hunter suits spawned when I was there. There's all the other materials you can gather off the robot. Yes, there's the Sentinel suit and ship, but it's not all about that for me. In fact, I found some items are actually more powerful in some regards than that. I had to think, well, was this Mantis suit worth all this? Going into some of the back chambers, there's tools, there's weapons you can pick up. In regards to weapon cases, I typically only tend to go for the ammunition. I already have those weapons. Lockers to look through, doors to open, and these locker rooms. And here we are, like some sort of living quarters of the Mantis as well. Sandwiches to eat. How long's that been there? You can't tell me that is going to give you too much health. Anyway, typical living quarters. We've seen all this before. Desks, computers, additional lore of the Mantis you can consume if you want to. Some of all this lore is interesting. Some of it, well, you know, you've read it. It's kind of done. The computers are always worthwhile looking through, just in case there's any tips for any additional items on there. Once you're finished with the desktop, press the tab key on PC or the back key on Xbox, and you're back into the action. So far, we've had some resistance, we've had some challenges with the turret and some challenges with the robots, but that's effectively been it. You've got the bed of the Mantis, you've got the bathroom of the Mantis. Here we've got a Trackers Alliance spacesuit. All high stats on these items. And these are not even legendary or epic items. But here's our first prize. A good old quick save here, just in case anything kicks off. Not that it will, because you've done everything at this stage. But I didn't know. This is my first playthrough. This is the suit of the Mantis. There you go. It's on a mannequin. We will open over to the mannequin. And there it is. It is the Sentinel's Mantis spacesuit, and the Armoured Mantis pack, and the Headhunter's Mantis space helmet. How cool is that? And it does make you look all the clever dicky when you're walking around. So, if you haven't got space, trade some off onto your NPC. If you have got space, you might as well get it on there and make sure you're not too encumbered. And that is how you get the Mantis spacesuit and helmet and pack. All good stuff. Having a look around the other area, there's some ammunition and stuff to pick up. A couple of materials, but generally nothing too heavy. But now it's onto the spaceship that's on that bit sort of bat wing pad in the Mantis cave. This is the Mantis Razorleaf, and a very powerful ship. And an easily attainable ship, because it's there and it's yours for the taking. All you have to do now, effectively, is get down to the switch and get it off its little Batcave pad and get it onto the surface so you can claim it. All this is done by a switch at the bottom of the pad, right there. You give it a good flick, and then in a great little sequence, which I think is absolutely fantastic, and more games could learn a lot from this, off goes that ship to the surface, and your task is now to get to the surface, get in there, claim that ship as your own, and you're away. Back the way through the map. There is an elevator at the bottom that will take you a part of the way there. Once you're out through the door, there is the Razorleaf, the ship of the Mantis, all great stuff. I managed to get an extra level out of this, so I'm now level 12, and here we are, claiming it and sitting in the pilot seat. Your items will be transferred from your other ship all the way over. Once you press take off, away it goes. You get the pop-up screen that says you now have a new home ship, and your previous home ship has been added to your fleet, and it tells you how to claim it back. And that's it. How to get the Mantis Razorleaf starship, how to get the Mantis spacesuit, and how to get the Headhunter Sentinel Mantis helmet and the pack, or whatever it is. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check back for more. See you soon.